Down da down da diddle 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 da. Down down. Down down. Down da down da diddle diddle down da down da diddle down down da down da diddle 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 da 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 down da down da diddle diddle down da down da diddle down down da down da diddle 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 da. Down down. Down down. Down da down da diddle diddle down da down da diddle down down da down da diddle 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 da 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 down da down da diddle diddle down da down da diddle down down da down da diddle 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 da. Down down. Down down. Down da down da diddle diddle down da down da diddle down down da down da diddle 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 da 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 down da down da diddle diddle down da down da diddle down down da down da diddle 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 da. Down down. Down down. Down da down da diddle diddle down da down da diddle down down da down da diddle 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 da 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 down da down da diddle diddle down da down da diddle down down da down da diddle 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 da. Down down. Down down. Down da down da diddle diddle down da down da diddle down down da down da diddle 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 da 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 down da down da diddle diddle down da down da diddle down down da down da diddle 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 da. Down down. Down down. Down da down da diddle diddle down da down da diddle down down da down da diddle 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 da 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 down da down da diddle diddle down da down da diddle down down da down da diddle 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 da. Down down. Down down. Down da down da diddle diddle down da down da diddle down down da down da diddle 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 da 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 down da down da diddle diddle down da down da diddle down down da down da diddle 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 da.
G'day and welcome to the Ball Boys AFL Fantasy live show on your Friday afternoon. We are back after missing last week. We are thirsty as a sponge, ready to talk to you guys about AFL Fantasy, trade targets and captains. Let's go!
Just done it from nowhere. Busted the goal from inside the centre. Sheed from the boundary. Dusty. Petrarca. The legend becomes immortal.
G'day and welcome again to the Ball Boys AFL Fantasy Podcast. I'm your host, Mitch Casey, and you can find me on Twitter at Ball Boys Fantasy. And I am joined once again by the celebrity, the man who people stop in the streets, Luke Rogerson. How are you, mate?
Very good, mate. Happy to be back on a Friday. We missed out last time, so it's nice to have a beer with everyone again.
Yes. So, yes, apologies again for being absent last week. But we're back. We're here to talk fantasy, and look, it's exciting times. We've got 7 rounds left, Luke, until the end of the season.
And
we
I'm
can all be
counting every fucking one of them
we
too.
can be put out of our misery. For some of us, like myself, we're charging. We're absolutely charging to the end of the season. Up another 1,000 ranks last week. So let's see if we can do it again, mate. Yeah, so
you are coming home with a wet sail. What is the rank? Sorry, what did you say?
2,000. Well, right now it's 3,138, but I had no one play last night. But going into the round, it was about 2,200 and something.
Given you've gone pretty well the last couple of years, we wouldn't normally be excited. But from where you've come from,
well,
it's all relative, isn't it, mate?
It is all relative, and you're only as good as your last round. And I was I think I was top 1,000 round rank last week, so that's pretty good.
Despite not doing too well ourselves, we've got to give a shout out to the Patreon members. I know this is the live show available to everyone, but We mentioned on our Wednesday Patreon show, exclusive for Patreon members, that we have close to, is it 10 people in the top 100?
10 people in the top 100, and we have leading the charge, they're Eskimo Brothers on the Patreon, but I can't remember his actual team now because it's...
I think the Nakosians, is it?
Yeah, the Nakosians. We went into the round ranked 10th, sitting 18th right now, but... Good luck to that great man. We are cheering you home to win the car.
It's impressive stuff. It really is.
Yeah, so lots of good smart coaches in there, and hopefully we've had a little small part in helping people get there. So straight off the rip here, Lats has jumped in with a question, and it's a bit of a philosophical question here.
This is exactly what I thought I'd be answering first up.
Yeah, no, I love this. This is a great question. It's gonna make us all think. If tomato is a fruit... We confirm tomatoes are fruit.
Yeah, I believe that's accurate.
Does that make ketchup a smoothie? Blend it up. I think it could be.
I can get behind that.
Yeah.
I can get behind that.
A little bit of smoothie, yeah. A little bit of smoothie on my pie. His other question, and if we aren't supposed to have midnight snacks, why is there lights in the fridge?
Yeah, I agree. I think that's it should be a green light because green lights at midnight snacks. Get up, eat whenever you like.
Absolutely.
Eat your feelings even.
Yeah, why not?
Well, let's segue to last night's game because I didn't feel like I needed a midnight snack at 3/4 time when I went to bed. But then when I woke up in the morning, I realised I should have had a whole tub of ice cream because Sam Doherty fucking stunk it up. How's that for a segue?
Great segue.
Quarter.
Yeah, he's been... producing the fantasy scores, but this has kind of been highlighted or sort of foreshadowed a little bit with his play. He's a guy that, I mean, it was a bad matchup for him. So defenders against Collingwood, they move the ball very quickly and it just goes straight through the big sticks. It doesn't actually...
The Lions, not Collingwood.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, so Collingwood's tonight. Yeah. Same thing. Lions. I mean, they just possess the ball.
Did you watch any last night?
No, I did. I did not watch.
I watched a little bit, and there was a patch there. I kind of watched the second quarter. There was a patch there in the second quarter where, even though the game was close, it felt like the Lions were just toying with them. It was just hit a little inside 45, handball received, bang, 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 uncontested mark inside 50. So the Lions are looking unbelievable.
It didn't end up being close in the end.
So. No, it didn't. From that point onwards, they kicked away. But they're looking really good, and you can see why none of the Blues really scored well. Adam Chera, my man, as well. Not the best, not the worst.
Not the best, not the worst. We said he was a trade-out target. We did identify... We sort of thought about some of those longs and Doherty's. We said Doherty out first, so hopefully people followed through with that. You decided to keep both, which was, your call to make.
There was no decision involved, mate. Forced to.
Yes.
That's the appropriate way to put it.
But yeah, I think if you held him, I think that's okay. 90 plus for Chera is solid against a tough matchup in Brisbane. So I'd be pretty okay with that one if I held him. That's not too bad. And if you traded him out, might still not be a bad thing either. You can definitely get someone who... So I think both sides are feeling okay about that right now.
Tom in the chat here says that Chera was sent straight to the tribunal. So like I said, I only watched a little bit of the game. I'm not across this, but if you have more information...
Well, that might make next week's trades pretty easy for you there, Luke.
It could well, and I like it when my trades are easy.
That's the thing about this time of year. Sometimes these forced trades, if you're going to get a forced trade, this is the time of year to get them because... We're all umming and ahhing, who's the trade-out priority, who should go first. Jai Caldwell injured for most of the season. See ya. You're gone.
Yeah.
Chera, you're out for a week or whatever. See ya. You're gone.
Yeah.
Makes those decisions nice and easy. So that's I guess the what's the colour on the wall? No, I'm blanking on the
What are you talking about?
Anyway, I can't remember what I'm trying to say. But Tim's asked a question here, and he is also ranked very highly.
Tim's ranked 69. So my recommendation here would be don't move up one spot and don't move down one spot.
Just stay right there.
Get the 69 hat, brother.
Yeah, that's the best hat outside of number one.
Tim's been killing it this year. So Tim says McRae or Chera to Butters and next week Daniel to McRae or Merritt to Goulden. Tim wants 2 weeks worth of trades.
Well, I wouldn't be going Merritt to Goulden. I mean, maybe after next week where tags start to come in, you could start to look at that. I think it's... Maybe that type of trade, forecasting a week in advance, is a little bit... We'll wait and see what it does this week. But I would tick off the first one for sure. I think Butters is going to be a great target. He seems to me like he's going to run into a bit of form right now where he's got Hawthorn, who haven't really been tagging. Adelaide, who don't tag. Geelong, bit hit and miss sometimes. Freo, hit and miss sometimes. So I think he'll be solid, and also Connor Rosie's there, who's also taking a lot of the attention as well. So I think he's gonna be close back to the butt, as we know.
Scott, we appreciate your super chat as well. Scott says here, top 400, so killing it, and banked 380k last weekend. So are we spending it all out going unique, Stewart and Caldwell to Ash and Goulden, or are we chasing value in the Bont and Whitfield? We particularly like Errol Goulden this week. We do like Whitfield, but I think there's an argument to say that you wait a week on Lachie Whitfield. Hopefully his price comes down even further. You're already getting him cheap, to be fair.
Yeah, you are.
But if you can kind of get your order of events right here, Scott, and bring in Whitfield next week, I think that looks good.
I think the matchups also favour those other guys as well.
Lachie Ash to me is an interesting one because if and you say here, Scott, that you're kind of trying to go a little bit unique. If I go unique, I kind of feel like I want a guy that has a bit more of a ceiling than Lachie Ash, or do you kind of tick off Ash as being a unique guy that we could...
I mean, he's not, typically he hasn't been a guy that's let you down, so that's nice. You know, it's sort of like protection from floor. I think if you just boil it down to those two trades, I'm spending the cash. And because this time of year, holding that cash is going to be more detrimental than in previous parts of the season because the value of players isn't going up as much anymore. The rookies aren't there to cash in as much. And it's go time to get points on field. So I'd be wanting to spend the cash, and then next week you can figure out what else is going to happen.
Yeah, for sure. Tim just jumps in again with just straight, what do I do? So I think from what you said, Tim, I liked your logic. So Chera is obviously locked out. I would go him to Butters this week, and then next week Daniel to McRae, Merritt to Gould. I would go Daniel to McRae.
Daniel to McRae over Merritt to Gould. Yeah. Definitely, for sure. I would be looking at that. He's on borrowed time.
Yeah, so I think you're all good. And Tom cites here for Chera, it's fourth umpire contact for Chera. I think I saw the umpire contact last night. I didn't realise it was...
They're cracking down on that from what I
did hear that this week. So it was pretty innocuous, but you got to know where those blokes in green are. Blokes and gals in green.
Yeah.
Anything else from last night, mate?
It was pretty, not super relevant just because I had no one playing.
Is Josh Dunkley back?
Josh Dunkley, he was back last night. I don't know how to figure this guy out. He's a tough one to pick. McCluggage was down.
Yeah.
I think the thing with Brisbane is they've got so many good mids. And if one of them is held in check, you have the chance for one or two of them to go big.
Yeah.
If they're all kind of doing their thing and no one's really getting tagged or anything like that, it just limits their ceiling, I think is the way I'm reading it. So, great score for Dunkley, and if you trade him in, absolutely, that's exactly what you wanted to see. His next few matchups are pretty solid, and he's never going to get a tag. But, yeah, he's just hard to predict, I think.
To me, the way I read it is he doesn't play the best role for fantasy, but he's just such a talented player that he can occasionally do this.
That's his biggest score of the year, by the way.
Well, this is not unusual territory for him in terms of big scores because he fills the stat line. I think that it's a guy who's playing just a slightly less fantasy-friendly role in a team that's stacked with attacking midfielders, but he will occasionally get his.
Yeah. If he has these 13 tackle games... Yeah, obviously that's going to go a long way to scoring well. So,
for sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much this changes how I view him, but obviously he's around the mark, I think. So, yeah, we'll see how things go for him in the next few weeks. But other than that,
let's talk some team reactions. Yeah, let's just have a little bit of a look. It's not too busy this week, but let's just talk first about a couple of big names. So Lachie Whitfield's had a couple of weeks off and is now back, and he's not only back, but he's cheap. He has a high break even, so could he be cheaper next week, Mitch?
So he's priced at 97. I think you can put 10 points on that. Break even of 150, is that right?
Yeah.
I don't think he comes in this week and just goes whack 150. Geelong, he scored 103 on them earlier in the season, and they're a harder matchup for defenders than they are for midfielders. So I'm happy either way. If you want to trade him in, I think you're going to get a top 6 defender at a good value. He's probably the most value top premium that's like a lock for top in their line. He's a lock for top 6 in my opinion. And no other lock is as cheap as he is. So from that point of view, he's a great buy. But this is where I want to just get a little bit greedy and target someone that maybe on a value scale is maybe not as much value as he is. But for the 1 week this week, I expect to score more and go up in price so I can get Whitfield next week. That's what I'm looking to do. Because I do really want him for Essendon next week. That's a great matchup for him.
You're definitely playing the odds here. You kind of... The guy has ceiling. Like, there's no doubting that. But you're playing the odds. You're saying, hey, look, we expect him to go well, but not that well. And, you organise your trades this week to say, okay, well, Zach Merritt, I think, is going to go up more in value this week coming, if that's who you're trading in. So Errol Goulden, same thing, and you get Whitfield a little cheaper next week. So the other one who's back, and this one's been playing on my mind all week. You don't have this issue. A lot of people won't have this issue.
Yeah, because I'm smart.
You're an idiot. But Bailey Smith is back. Bailey Smith is back, and there's
the third time we said that.
There's a lot of teams that he is no longer in.
Yeah,
and that
including yours.
That is an issue.
So if you traded out Bailey Smith last week, chances are you're sitting on a fair bit of coin because he's worth a lot of money. There's no one more expensive than him.
Correct.
So you're probably sitting on a lot of coin. I don't think that there's a need to rush to get him back in this week. I think there's a lot of things you could do with the cash that I'd probably prefer to do, like getting rid of a couple of duds like Caleb Daniel, or if you've still got a rookie on field, fix that up. If you have someone like a Doherty last night, or if you have someone like Rankin there, I think these guys can get upgraded to other players that maybe present more value. The other thing is, I don't think we'll get to big boys later.
Yeah.
But I don't think you're captaining him this week.
It's a lot of money to pay for someone who you won't captain.
He's priced at 125.
It's insane.
No one's done that for years. Years and years. Not since probably Rockcliffe. So it's a lot to pay for someone that you're not going to captain. I think after this week, he's going to run into some games where you probably will start to captain him. Potentially, definitely you want him by round 20 against North Melbourne. Absolutely. But I don't know if it has to be this week.
Yeah, the only thing I'll say on it is that you need to forecast it happening in the next couple of weeks, because if you suddenly go weeks and weeks where something happens and you suddenly can't get him in, you're just going to hemorrhage points, especially in the forward line. Tristan Sherry's also back with a little bit of uncertainty about that this week.
A few people are a bit scared, but I think he's fine to go.
Apparently is good to go. This one we'll talk about in great detail later, I'd imagine, but Maxie Heath.
Yeah. So, did you know his nickname's the Moose?
Is it really?
Yeah. I don't know why.
Okay. That's good gear. Thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah. They tweeted a moose out. And I was like, what the fuck does this mean? And apparently it means that Max Heath is debuting.
The big Moosey Heath.
Yes. So, but he's there. What does this mean for Rowan Marshall? And are we geniuses for trading him out in round 13?
We are not. Stop clutching at straws. We're idiots.
Yeah.
Idiots.
I regretted that trade. But Max Heath, first of all, he's back in before Harry Boyd. So that's hilarious. And is he going to shift Marshall more to a forward line, who's been playing well?
Yeah, he has been. Is this your classic? If you've got him, you're obviously not doing anything about it. But if you don't have him, you're steering clear of him?
Yeah, I think it is.
Do you think it's your classic that? And also, Marshall's coming up against a pretty tough matchup this week.
He is. Grundy.
Is there an argument to say, hey, we just, Heath is due and we just give him a bit of a chop out this week, but then he then goes into Geelong next week, so a lot more easy, but then goes Gawn the week after and Sherry the week after that. So is this just break it up for Romar with a few tough games coming up?
Yeah, I think so. I think... I don't know much about Heath as a player, but I feel like he can be more of a forward than Boydie can be. So I think this is not as bad news as if Harry Boyd was coming in. I don't think it's like forecasting that he is going to be a forward first, ruck second. I think he's still going to be the ruck first, but he might get less time. And any less time in the ruck is obviously not a good thing. So yeah, you're not trading him in. But if you have him, you just you don't panic. You don't panic, and I think you just wait and see how things go.
Something we're pretty excited about is Taj Hodden.
I'm pretty hot on this guy.
Yeah, how long did that take you to come up with?
Immediately.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, just off the top of my head.
You've been working on that for months. You've just been praying for a debut, haven't you?
I have. This guy I
For that
like
year.
a lot. And obviously, we are both Richmond fans. And going back to the draft, this is a guy that I was really keen on. And he had excellent junior numbers when it comes to fantasy. Now, they've talked about him being a forward role, but getting a little bit of time up the ground in the midfield. He is a guy that, look, if it was earlier in the season and we wanted some rookies with good job security and scoring potential because they're on that ground, I would trade him into my side without seeing anything. He's one of those rookies that I think can score well. At this point of the season, he is a little bit elevated in price. So I probably would just go cheaper. But
Does it also
if
mean
you had like shit rookies on your bench and you don't have much cash sitting there, then he is a guy that I think will stick around for a while.
Does it also mean though that if he scores reasonably this week, his price isn't going to get away from you too much? Is that how the break?
His break even's going to be at 33. So yeah, he's not going to like he comes out and scores a 70. Yep, he'll go up like 40k, but it's not like he's going to jump up 80k.
Richmond had a couple of injuries there on the weekend as well, Alga and Lawler. So I like the job security and maybe we could get on him for a bit of cash generation downgrade.
Yeah.
We'll see.
If you need a forward, there's not too many targets, so yeah, he'd be high up on the list. But yeah, it just sucks that it's at this point of the season and that he is a little bit more expensive.
Definitely. Last bit of news is LDU.
Yeah, so he's out.
Does this shake anything up for primarily the Shees?
Surely Shees goes in the midfield. Like, surely, right?
Who came in? For those North Melbourne
I don't know
boys?
if it was anyone notable.
Naughty North.
Let me check.
Oh, Parker's come in. So
That is
there you go.
someone a
That's
little
pretty
bit notable. yeah. They didn't move him into the midfield last week.
I think
from
they're
what I
just going
remember.
to Parker him right in the middle.
Nice.
Thanks.
Well, actually, no. Well, he bumped back up to 54%, and that's up 30% from the week before. So up a little bit. I don't know. They seem to not want to do it. He still is good, but not great. Similar thing to Marshall. I don't think you're jumping on. I don't think you're trading him out. We're just sort of waiting to see what's going on there. But yeah, I think this is good things for Melbourne players. I think they're going to beat up their midfielder just that little bit more.
Before we go to the next segment, have we got any extended bench news, Mitch? There is the time right?
Look. Oh, we've got our boy Dewar. He is back in, so he's back on the radar on the extended bench there. Well, sorry, the 23, so it could be the sub, but they have cited that he is going to be returning. Also, our other boy, Liddy, is back as well.
Let's go.
So if you had him traded out, reverse that trade, he's still got a very low break even, and I think we sort of predicted this one with Pal Pepper. He did his ACL or something like that? It was a bad injury?
I think you might have. That it seems to me like it was likely to happen.
Yeah.
With a couple of injuries there for the Power.
So a couple of cash cows making their way back into their side, as is Hugh Boxall, who I just might have traded out last week, but that's okay. That's all right because my other boy from St Kilda is still there in Angus Hasty, the late season call-up. My guy stuck around all season waiting for his chance. And now he's got it.
Gives you some good insight to where Mitch's team's at.
Yep. But no, he scored well last week. He had 69, break even of 5. Come to me, Cash.
Yeah.
And now I've got an emergency in my defense line, so a bit of cover. So it's all coming up, Mitch, right now.
Okay, mate. Time for a little bit of me time for you.
Woo! I don't have the sunnies, but
you got one prop to bring. I always bring. I actually think
I lost them down the coast. I don't think I've seen them since I've been back. So
I'll buy you a new pair, mate.
Got a bit too lit on the weekend.
I'll buy you
sunnies.
I'll pay for a pair of glasses as long as you commit to wearing them for the. Is that?
Can I pick the sunnies? No. See, that's what concerns me.
That'll be good.
That'll be good?
Yeah.
Can I wear them outside of it? Like, will they be wearable in public, just in general, people? I don't trust you at all, mate.
What makes you say that?
Sure. If you want to go and waste your money, you can. Bring it on. But yes, big boys this week, mate. I think this is one of the better rounds in terms of variety of options that we've seen in a while. I think there's probably 7 or 8 really good captain options this week. Starting with number 1, tonight.
Nick
Dacos.
Woofed.
Number 1 big boy, I think that Nick Dacos, and this is not my spice take because it's pretty vanilla, I think he's going to be the highest averaging player for the rest of the season. And he is on a tear right now. He is averaging close to 120 plus in his last 6. And it's already been confirmed. Dimmer has come out and said, we won't tag Nick Dacos. And we knew that.
Wait. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Coach of the Gold Coast Suns.
Yes. No,
Yes.
I gotcha. No.
Were you thinking Richmond?
No, I'm lost because my expectation was that Essendon are playing Richmond. I was just waiting to hear Essendon names.
No. So they're coming, but wait. Nick Dacos not getting tagged.
Okay.
Back-to-back 130s his last 2. He's on fire. He's the best player in the competition.
He is.
Maybe my spice take is I think he's going to be the best player of all time. And I know I haven't been watching footy for very long, but this guy's a fucking jet. Do we say that? Is it his 3rd year? Is that right? Is his 3rd year in the
I
comp?
think that's what we worked out, but
Because that's fucked.
it feels like he's been playing many moons.
100%. It already feels like, come on, get this guy Brownlow already. It feels like he's due.
2021 AFL draft.
That's crazy. So he played 22, 23, 24. This is 4th year.
Yeah, regardless, it's
Fuck.
impressive. Isn't
He's
it?
so fucking good. So he's number 1. Number 2 is your first Essendon player, and I'm giving it to Zach Merritt, who had his 150 last time he versed them. Obviously, coming off a 145. He's in the middle. No Caldwell. Richmond suck. There's no one there to tag him. He should be massive once again. I feel like he's a safer target as a captain after potentially going to VC or Nick Dacos tonight compared to his teammate. Number 3 is Errol Goulden coming up against the Saints. Now, the Saints have been a harder matchup for inside midfielders, but for outside midfielders, they still are the easiest team in the competition over the last 5. Even easier than Essendon, even easier than Richmond, all these other players. So,
and who's the best outside midfielder in the game?
It's head and shoulders.
Yeah.
Errol Goulden.
The old shampoo sponsorship.
Yeah, the old sponsorship, this podcast. So he is someone that a lot of people will be citing that St Kilda have been harder for inside mids, but Errol's built different. So he is at number 3. Number 4 is Nick Martin against Richmond. Probably, obviously, he's had the highest score of the entire season.
There's some good options this week.
Great options. We haven't even got to anyone versing West Coast either. So he's there. Another Sydney player rounds out the top 5 with Brodie Grundy. Now, I was starting my list, and I had him initially at number 3, but just moved him a little bit further down. Rowan Marshall has been conceding lots of points. The number 1 easiest ruck matchup over the last 5. Every single ruck matchup in the last 5 has beaten their average. And over his last 7, Brodie Grundy's average is 125. He is absolutely picking it up. The Heath inclusion, does that, the double team sort of potential, does that move him down potentially?
It always concerns me when it turns into a 3-way. It just feel like it's hard to do some of your best work with that third operator there.
A bit of pressure.
There is occasionally. So, but to me, I feel like Grundy's a guy that can rise to that occasion and handle his business.
He and Wang are usually pretty good in those situations. Yeah, just include my boy, who's not in the captains this week because I think he will get a tag. So you should have captained him last week, but don't captain him this week.
You're a fuckwit.
So obviously no Bailey Smith in that list. He did sneak into my top 10, but not quite my top 5. And a couple of Port Adelaide boys were very close to making the list in Connor Rosie and Zach Butters. So you could look to go there as well. But I think a lot of us will be going Nick Dacos as the VC tonight. And I think the line is conservatively at 115. If you want to be a bit more, a bit more ambitious, 120. I don't think I'd take a 113 or 14 this round with a couple of really nice matchups.
Surely he just beats. The only thing stopping Nick Dacos tonight is management. He just beats up.
Yeah, I think absolutely he does. So yeah, I'm expecting some big things from some players this week and some big captain scores.
So we know that those Suns are the easiest matchup for those inside mids. The only, as I just think about it a little bba bit more, Nick Dacos does a little bit of everything, but
he's an inside player.
Yeah, he gets so many of his cheap points working hard to the outside. So I'm a little bit conflicted. I'm going, he's not like a Matt Rowell. He's not like a a longie. He's not.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. So he had 132 points last week with 2 tackles. He had 137 points the week before with 3 tackles. Gold Coast concede the highest amount of tackles of any team.
And you think he's going to get in on it, but?
Do you think, surely he can turn 2 tackles into 5?
And you think he still gets his outside ball?
He always gets his outside ball. It's Nick Dacos.
He does. I shouldn't be questioning.
And if they're not tagging him, then he's just going to continue to do it.
I shouldn't be questioning the
big boys. Look,
big boy picker.
The unfortunate thing about the big boys is we got knocked off the top spot.
Well, I saw here in the chat, the Fantasy Fanatics, I'm guessing it's Bales here, maybe insinuated that you intentionally lost the Sunnies because you forgot to change your number 1 captain.
Well, look, this is the thing, right? So I had to prioritise last week because we were at the wedding. And
you were so good at being present.
We were present. Like I said, we were in the atmosphere of love and commitment. And I had a commitment to my team. I had a commitment to Mitchmond. And that commitment was to check my squad, change my captain from Bailey Smith to Max Holmes. What I didn't do was change that on the captain's challenge.
Oh, my God.
He was my number 1. And I got a big fat 0 at number 1. So
it's over.
So that's done. So that's over. I've gone from number 2 to number 20 in 1 week.
Oh my goodness!
But I know, you know, we all know who's the number 1 captain picker in the world.
This is the classic. This is the classic primary school. You lose the race. I wasn't even trying. This is the perfectly executed excuse.
I didn't have reception. I was at the wedding and I didn't want to. I wanted to be present, mate.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah. Look, I won't lie. I completely forgot.
Yeah.
I was just focusing on my own trades and my own captain. But
That's good.
Shit happens, mate. Shit happens. At least there's no car on the line in that, competition.
That would be killer. Tim, thank you again for your super chat. Tim said, can you see my team? I went Dale to Whitfield as well. Do I get Liddy back? Tim,
I don't think you have to get Liddy back if you traded him out already.
Yeah, unless you're talking about reversing your trade. If you reverse your trade and you can bring Liddy back and get rid of someone who isn't playing, I think that's okay. But
Dale to Whitfield's definitely a big upgrade. That's a 15-point upgrade, I think, at least.
Yeah, but I wouldn't be necessarily...
if you've already spent a trade to get him out, I wouldn't spend another trade to get him back in because he is, what is he, 350k? I think that's, like we talked about Houghton being expensive, that's another 50k on top of that. So
yeah, definitely.
Yeah. But reverse the trade if he was originally going out.
Perfect. Are you ready to get spicy, mate?
Let's get la spicy.
Hot indeed. And you've been making spicy takes all shows. You need to kind of understand the definition of the segment. Wait till now.
No. Okay, not fantasy talk right now. I mean, it has to be a spicy take. Nick Dacos, best player of all time. How spicy is that on the scale? It's pretty fucking spicy.
It's quite spicy. This is the old debate, but the intergenerational thing is the thing that's tough. You haven't watched some of.
No, I haven't.
The absolute greats. I'm not saying I have either.
I do feel like footy is harder to have that conversation as well compared to like your basketball and those other sort of sports because the positions are so different and things like that. So I get that, but that's just me saying this guy's the best I've ever seen.
You know what we should do? There's 7 rounds to go. I was going to say we need to have like a spicy take leaderboard. We need to actually maybe
next year
think about how many of these things actually come true.
Yeah, I think I've hit 15, 16 so far this year. I'll just put that on my leaderboard.
My spicy take this week is about Bailey Smith. And I'm going to say that Bailey Smith goes sub 80.
Oh, that's his worst score of the year.
Yeah, that's why it's spicy. I get spicy. And sub 80.
He's had 2 scores below 100 this year.
Hey.
2.
I don't make the rules.
Okay, that is spicy, mate. I'll take
sub
that.
Sub 80 for Baz. And I am absolutely laughing having not traded him in.
Okay. I don't mind it.
Let's go.
Pass me those maracas as I do a dance. My spicy take is another one of those season-long ones where you'll forget it happened. And it kind of ties into yours, although not really, because I still think Bailey Smith is going to be the number 1 averaging forward. But the number 2 averaging forward from now to the rest of the season is not going to be Nick Martin. It's not going to be Matthew Kennedy. It is going to be Jackson McRae, who... Have you seen his run after this week?
I feel like you're just getting on all of my takes, and now you're starting to call me your spicy takes.
No.
So
You never said this.
I've been McRae for the last couple of weeks. Hey, I think McRae's going on. Hey, McRae's got a good run. And prior to this, we had to make you change your spicy take. Your spicy take was Zach Merritt 110 plus, which I've been saying all week. 7-game stretch.
That wasn't spicy enough for me. So I am going Jack McRae, second highest averaging forward for the rest of the season. I reckon he averages 110. Bang. Let's go.
110.
110 from now on. Sydney, who he won't get tagged. They'll be busy tagging other people. He'll rack it up. Geelong won't get tagged. Melbourne won't get tagged. North Melbourne, Richmond, Essendon, and GWS, who have been easy.
He's not getting tagged regardless. But
he's not. But I'm just saying those teams are only tough because they do tag. When you take out the tag threat, they're actually easy matchup. So, McRae, going big.
I would say heard it here first, but you heard it here first. So
No, you heard that
remember
specific take here first.
Okay, I think it's that time. I think we get to answer some questions. What do you think?
Question time. We love answering questions, Luke. We love answering questions so much that we didn't record just one podcast this week. We recorded 2 podcasts for our Patreon members. Only one of them actually recorded properly.
Yeah, if you want commitment that if you sign up to the Patreon, you will be taken care of, we recorded a 2-hour podcast that we then found out didn't record properly.
Yeah, and we threw that in the bin and went, not good enough.
So we went back to the well and basically repeated ourselves for another hour and a half.
Yeah. We just had to cut out all that great gear.
Yeah,
And it was great.
It's a bit sad that won't see the light of day.
Yeah. Anyway.
But if you want that gear, head on over to
patreon.com/ballboys for the final 7 rounds of the season to bring it home strong and maybe win your matchups. I know a lot of teams are going to their matchups and finals and stuff like that. If you want to come and get some good advice or just come laugh at Luke for an extra day, you can come and do that over at Patreon. All right, Jaden. He asks about Cozzy Pickett as a 2-week play instead of Jackson McRae. Now, I am on the record saying that I am not a Cozzy Pickett guy for fantasy, but he's proved me wrong this year to an extent because he is averaging 90 points per game. Every now and again, though, he goes 2 games in a row. Round 7, round 8, and again, it was Richmond, West Coast, 65-64. Then there was round 12, round 13, 42-64. All the other games have been good.
Yeah.
But he has the ability to just suck.
This to me, I look at Pickett's scores and I look there and I go, there's nothing that McRae can't do there except the floor. The floor is what Pickett has that I don't think McRae necessarily has. And it's a little bit, I think 60, 70K more. I think Cozzy's about 850, isn't it?
70K, yeah.
70K more. To me,
I'm
I'm paying that because I think McRae has the ceiling. He has that 100 average, but he just doesn't have 40s in him.
And the matchup, you could say, he's got North Melbourne this week, but he scores 65 against Richmond. He scores 64 against West Coast. 42 against St Kilda. This isn't the Brisbane Lions that he's scoring poorly against. I just have such a hard time trusting that man.
Dave's got a draft question, and nothing tightens the front of Mitch's slacks like a draft question. So I'll ask you there. What will Will Day score in round 21? First week of finals, his second game back. The matchup is Crows in Adelaide.
Oh, it won't. I don't think it'll be great. I think I'd be prepared to not want to put him on my field.
Yeah, I think that there's every chance they're going to just be easing him back in.
Yeah.
And for him, there's no incentive to be peaking in round 21. He's obviously going to go out there and he's going to play his best, I would imagine.
But his time on ground, we've seen it before. His time on ground gets managed after these sort of things. Potentially, the role might be a little bit different, maybe less time in the middle, and just for the nature of his injuries, they've been stress injuries and things like that. So they're going to be ultra cautious with him when he is back. So I would plan for it to be underwhelming.
Yeah. Tom here says, I can play 2 of Doc, Rankin, and McCarthy, but thanks to Boxall, I can't have a look at Rankin. So these St Kilda players coming in can be...
it's a double-edged sword this time of the year.
It really is. So which 2 players would you want on field, given that Doc has already scored 69?
I'm taking on that 69. I'm putting McCarthy over him.
Yeah.
And I'm probably doing the same. So how many do we have to choose? 2 players. So I'm just benching Doc. I'm hoping both those players will go better than that.
Have a go. Yeah, I don't think that there's, touch wood, much to lose there.
This is what you should have done, Luke. You should have put Doc on the bench and looped him.
Correct. This is how much I've checked out. I didn't even have him on the bench, the silly sausage that I am. And it was looking all right at 3/4 time. But
Yes.
yeah. Pietro Bonacina, let's go. Thank you for the super chat of €5. Pietro. I love when we get some euros instead of dollars.
Yeah, that makes it look fancy.
It really does. It does. I love that conversion too, Pietro. Hey, lads, send in the love. Pietro has a confession. I hacked the PC to corrupt the pod since I got my question in late, but didn't work anyway.
Yeah, sorry, mate.
Pietro, you sneaky hacker.
We did cut it off there. Just more for our sanity more than anything, and just for all fairness sakes as well.
Yeah, we want to get that one out to everyone as quickly as possible. But hopefully we covered some of the main themes, Pietro. So you know how much we love your work. Apologies that it didn't we didn't get you on the rerun. Who else got a question here, Mitch?
Bales has got a question here on Merritt as a 1 week play. He says he'll be happy to hold if Carnage hits. But what are we thinking about Merritt? And obviously the 1 week play is because after this game he's got the Giants, then he's got the Bulldogs, Sydney. So what do we think is going to happen there? I am really interested to see what the Giants do this week when they... who are they playing? Because I'm pretty sure there's someone they should tag against Geelong. So if they don't tag Holmes or Smith, if they don't tag, then you hold Merritt because they haven't been tagging recently.
I think so too. I think there's probably two ways to look at this depending on where your team is. Like I haven't even given consideration to bringing in Merritt and then trading Merritt, and the reason is that the rest of my team's just so fucking shit.
Yeah.
So the narrative that I'm selling myself in that case is that over the next 7 games, I'm going to get 110 out of Merritt in the role that he should have been fucking playing for the last 5 weeks. And I'm just going to be happy with that. But if your team's in a fantastic position where you no longer have to really upgrade guys like Chera, guys like Long, guys like Doherty, then
Caleb Daniel.
Like, I think you can sell yourself on maybe bringing guys in for a week, getting rid of them the next week. But I'll just say, like, isn't it fraught with danger? How many times this year have we been sitting here thinking, a guy wasn't going to get a tag? Fuck, he got a tag.
Yeah.
Or we expect a guy's going to get a tag. He doesn't get a tag.
Yeah, and Bedford's tagged well in the past, but we just haven't seen it as much this season. So whether that's like a conscious thing that GWS have gone against, and obviously old mate Pipes is from the Richmond School of Thought, so maybe he hasn't wanted to tag if you can get away with it, and with their team being a little more healthy, maybe that's something that they're trying to go away from. And I think at the start of the year, like preseason, I remember seeing some things that Bedford was not going to tag as much this year, but obviously they had a lot of injuries, and so he was forced to do so. And then they've got the Bulldogs after that, and they're not a tagging team. So I think there's definitely room that you can be positively surprised, at least leading up into that Sydney matchup. So I'm hopefully holding him for at least 3 weeks personally, and then the Sydney one, that's when I start to go, okay, there's definitely some danger in that matchup.
Sean's question here was one that we got a little bit on Wednesday night, was Caldwell to Goulden or save cash and go to Butters. Butters has the West Coast matchup. Goulden is just a gun.
And the St Kilda matchup, which is the most points for outside mids.
So I think I'm going to pay up for Goulden. You're not in this situation. You have Butters already. To me,
Goulden's a safe top of his line.
Yeah, last week we spoke about maybe 4 guys that we expected to be locks in our midfield, and I think that after this week just gone, we have to add Errol Goulden to that conversation. He's been back 3 weeks. 2 of those weeks he's actually played his standard game time. He's scored 120 both weeks, and like you don't have to go back far to last year to see that the man is a weapon.
Yeah, he's just built different. And talk about sponges. He is the spongiest of them all. St Kilda high outside points to midfielders, and then into North Melbourne. So yeah, I don't know who's going to get much cheaper than this, and it's at that time of the year where you just want to get the points in, and he is a guy that I don't think will disappoint you.
There's another thing too. I mean, it's looking at the ladder here. It's very unlikely that Sydney claw back 12 points on Fremantle or GWS to get a spot, but Sydney are going to be playing to win.
Yeah.
There's no queue in the rack stuff for Sydney in the next 7 weeks. So, yeah, I think that Goulden is going to thrive in that environment too.
100%. Ace of Trades asks Bont or Butters. He won't be able to get the other one for the next 2 to 3 weeks. Who do you go, Bont or Butters?
Do you just go the sugar hit and get Butters in this situation if you know you're not getting the Bont?
See, I think if I was to pick someone to score more the rest of the season, I'm going to pick the Bont. But I think in the next 3 weeks, it probably is Butters.
Throw this out to the chat too, because this is something we talked about midweek as well. Is like Bontempelli, you look at the 2 or 3 matchups coming up for Bontempelli and you think they're not great matchups, but there's something about the Bont that to me kind of goes, okay, well, when he plays in the tough matchups, I think he's going to play more midfield time. He's not going to just go and park it full forward like he sometimes does. And sometimes I feel like the Bont goes harder.
He does.
Those matchups. Like it's where he's required, and he might tackle more. I have no stats to back this up, but
I mean, a 126 versus Port Adelaide early in the season with 8 tackles.
It's purely anecdotal, but
Geelong, he had 102. So
I don't know. It's like one of those.
It probably is Butters still, just with the instant reward, but it is a tough call. I'd have them neck and neck, but I'd probably edge Butters just a little bit in front.
Bella here says, hey guys, Bergman to Whitfield or Daniel to McRae?
I'm getting Daniel to McRae, I think, in this one.
Bergman
is a worry because of his role. I mean, you do point at the fact that he does have West Coast this week.
I think I'm going to... I don't think that's actually good for him.
It could be bad because it means there's no one for him to tag, so he's not in the midfield. But even if he's not in the midfield, there's still so many points to go around.
If he plays half back, is that true in teams that just dominate West Coast? I think I'm going to go Bergman to Whitfield. I think that's going to get you more points in the short term, Bella, and then hopefully you can do Daniel to McRae.
All right, Bella, pick who you like more. Obviously, it's me, but no hard feelings to you, Luke.
But last time I disagreed with you, you threw the hat in my face too, mate.
Yeah. No, I am wearing the hat that says number 16 on it. So, yeah, thanks for reminding me, mate.
Okay, more questions that I'll just sit here and not answer based on that. Fuck you.
No, go on. Well, Christian just wants to shout out Rosie's Cheeks sitting in 4th. What about the team that's in 4th place as well? But yeah, I hope that's you, mate. But shout out to Rosie's Cheeks. Coming for the Hilux, he reckons. All right, what's another question here? Do we go Rankin to Nick Martin with what should be a sugar hit this week, but does have a super high break even, or go to McRae and save the cash? This, to me, is a very tough question.
Yeah, and I find these questions particularly tough when a guy like Nick Martin did what he did to Richmond earlier in the season, because I think there's something in the back of all of our minds that goes like, oh, cool, there's a 150 coming up. I'm getting a guaranteed sugar hit, and then
he did score like 60 points in the last quarter.
If you don't get the sugar hit this week, then I think McRae's a way better trade over the course of the rest of the season. So how much do you value the potential 150 this week?
Yeah.
And how frequently do we see guys score 150?
I mean, not heaps, but it is the perfect matchup for him. I think if it was earlier in the season, I'd just go McRae. But I think now, 7 rounds to go, running out of time to make up ground, if that's what you're trying to do in terms of rank, you go Nick Martin. If you're playing leagues and you feel semi-confident that you're going to get into the finals, then it's probably McRae. He also mentions going Mills to Goulden. I like Goulden in, but I think I'd hold Mills over someone like Rankin.
Yeah.
With a St Kilda matchup for his position is pretty nice. So if you're looking just for overall rank, I think it's Nick Martin.
Okay, Dodds here says, trade Flanders and field McCarthy to bank cash for a double upgrade next week, or would you hold Gone Doc up this week already? So Doc up, that's locked in. Are we banking cash, Flanders and field McCarthy? To me, the difference between Flanders and McCarthy actually might not be much. So
no, it might not be much.
But I haven't been endorsing pocketing a heap of cash this week.
No.
Is there something else that could be done potentially in this situation, Dodds?
Yeah, I'm more in the case where I like to, normally early in the season, I'm all fine about stacking a lot of cash on your bench so you can do some nice moves. But now that cash to me is just points that could be.
If you can't, Chair is, in this case, I think it was it Doherty that's already up for. So if Doherty's already up, I'm guessing the cash needs to be made from somewhere. So we're just choosing, are we making that cash from a rookie down?
Yeah.
If part of that means banking a heap of cash,
if it's
really
a byproduct or something that you think is going to be a good trade, then it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, Flanders on field versus McCarthy, to me, that's a coin flip.
Yeah, it is a bit of a coin flip. Let's maybe finish on this last question by Jaden here, who says, is it okay to trade Johnson and Taru to get the players you need?
Do you want me to check?
Yeah, check the Taru cards. What do they say?
Oh, I forgot what the question was.
Is it okay to trade Johnson?
I'll read the mind. Yep, I've read Jaden's mind, and Mitch is going to answer that question.
Nice.
That's what I predicted.
Yeah, well done. Number 16 hat. Last year I'm a has-been.
I'm chopping that thing up the minute we get off.
No, this thing is priceless. I say yes. It is the time of year where I am okay. Trade these players if they've got a bit more money to make. And I think it's also at the time of year where you can go to maybe these a bit more like speculative rookies that are just cheap and just there. Because 7 rounds to go, they might only have 1 or 2 weeks to make cash, and then you trade them out again. We don't need, hopefully, if you've got all your rookies off field, we don't need $400K to upgrade someone. We might need 100,000, or at most 200,000. So that's where I'm at with some of these guys. So I think it is, yes, okay to trade some of those players that still have cash to make. And he's stuck between Cozzy and Horton or McRae and Stevens. I'd definitely go McRae and Stevens in that situation.
Yeah, for sure. Wrap this puppy up.
Let's do it, mate. So everyone can go and have a little fiddle and also do some trading after that is done. And big game tonight, mate. I'm very excited to watch this one.
Takeaway tonight?
Yeah, absolutely.
What's for dinner?
Bit of Hungry Jacks.
Okay, I'll go.
Burgers are better.
I'll go the Whopper. Newly converted.
Yeah, you are. We're converted. So let us know in the comments what are you having for dinner. And we'll see you guys on Monday for the review podcast where hopefully I've moved up another 1,000 ranks. Until then, guys, good luck. Bye.